I had no doubt in my mind that I was pregnant. And if you told me that I wasn't, or
how crazy I was that I was thinking that way,
I'd have just believed even stronger that I was pregnant. You couldn't stop me from thinking I was pregnant. I had just about every pregnancy symptom that you can think of, and I still experience those symptoms today. But I'm not pregnant. Over the past few years, since I accepted that I was not cryptically pregnant, I have discovered and learned and realized, and I now understand so much more about what my body has been going through, that I have now accepted that I was not ever pregnant. And I'm going to go through all those symptoms that made me think I was pregnant and explain to you why they're not related to pregnancy at all. So as I'm sharing my journey with you and what I've learned and discovered, it might be a little hard for you to get the whole information in this video, and so I would recommend to you that you subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos. I have a lot more information and more details on each of these chronic illnesses that I'm going to touch on in this video. Fatigue. This is one of the biggest symptoms that I have, and it is the one that really makes it difficult to get through my day. It doesn't seem to matter how much sleep I get, I'm just always so tired. I just feel so worn out. And this is linked to several of my chronic illnesses, including Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia syndrome, Reactive Hypoglycemia, Adrenal Fatigue, thyroid issues, and my leaky gut. It all contributes to how much energy I have, which is not very much usually. Frequent urination. So reactive hypoglycemia and leaky gut are connected so closely together that these are both causes for my frequent urination.
Oh man, is it so annoying when I have to go like several times in a half an hour?
Nausea or vomiting. My nausea and vomiting is so frequent that every month I'm like,
maybe I'm pregnant.
But usually I have nausea or vomiting when I have eaten a trigger food that really upsets me. And so this is in relation to my leaky gut, SIBO, and IBS, and again my thyroid problems. It's all messed up. And it's also in relation to my reactive hypoglycemia. This can cause nausea if I have not eaten in a while because my blood sugar is so low, I just feel really, really sick. Cravings. When I'm craving sugar or salt, oh my goodness. This is in relation to my adrenal fatigue and my reactive hypoglycemia. My hormones are unbalanced and my body is actually malnourished because of all the different symptoms that I have, and so my body is literally missing so many things. It starts to crave those things, and oh my gosh, it is so torturous sometimes. Cramps or spotting in between menses.
Implantation bleeding.
Over the last 6+ years, I have experienced some pretty intense cramping, and it even happens when I'm not having my period, and my periods have been so light that I almost think it's just spotting or implantation bleeding.
My periods have just been all over the place.
Again, this is related to Hashimoto's or my thyroid issues because my hormones are unbalanced, and I have been thinking I might have PMDD. I am just not 100% sure on that, but it is a theory.
Which that can cause a whole slew of problems and increases your mood swings and all sorts of problems, and we'll get on those topics in a second.
Bloating and other digestive issues. Weight gain. These two, bloating and weight gain and other digestive issues, they're all connected to my thyroid issues and my leaky gut, SIBO, and IBS. I have been eating so clean lately that I have had a decent flat stomach. Usually what would happen is I'd wake up flat, and then by the end of the day, I would be able to see my baby bump. And the other day, I had forgotten how severe this was for me, and I messed up and I ate stuff that caused me to be so bloated and so full and uncomfortable. I'm like,
oh, there's my cryptic pregnancy belly again. I forgot what that felt like.
It's based on the trigger foods that I have found out that really upset me. And believe me, if you would have told me years ago that potatoes made me feel so sick, I would have just laughed at you. Heartburn. This again is related to leaky gut, IBS, and SIBO. And it usually only happens when I've eaten a trigger food. And I'm like,
oh, yep, I shouldn't have eaten that. It's just burning, just burning.
Mood swings. I remember sitting watching some really funny things on YouTube, and I would be laughing so hard that I would be crying. And then especially when there'd be a pregnancy related video, I'd just be crying and I'd be so elated. And I remember just my moods being up and down and up and down. And I remember thinking,
wow, I really am pregnant, because normally I wouldn't be this emotional over something so small.
This is related to adrenal fatigue, reactive hypoglycemia, and my leaky gut. It's all associated with how I feel because I am unable to keep my blood sugar as balanced as I need to, and this causes really high highs and really low lows, and I just feel like I'm all over the place with my emotions sometimes, or all the time. Now it has taken a little while, but as I've eaten more clean and limited sugars, like
no sugar,
I have noticed that my mood is starting to be more balanced and I'm able to be more in control of how I feel, and I am feeling more calm every day, and it's just great. Depression or anxiety. So I kind of touched on this one a little bit already, but this is in relation to just about every chronic illness that I have, because my thyroids are out of whack and causing my hormones to be up and down.
and I am having all these different trigger foods and trying to discover what those trigger foods are,
and having high and low blood sugar, or usually just low blood sugar, and I'm just gonna have my moods going up and down and up and down, and it's gonna cause depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. This has been one of the biggest battles and challenges that I have ever experienced in my life, is going through the mental struggles of thinking that I was pregnant. And this has, like I mentioned, slowly improved over time as I started to eat more clean, removed processed foods, removed sugars, and just ate raw, whole, real food that man has not messed with. Hair loss. So this one, I was for sure like, I've got to be pregnant, because when I was pregnant with my previous children, my hair would thin and I wouldn't have to shave my legs as often. So I was like,
oh sweet, another confirmation that I am pregnant.
But this is associated with my adrenal fatigue and my thyroid problems, my nutrient deficiencies. I'm just not hanging on to my hair. I'm literally sick. My hair is just falling out, and this is why I've started crimping my hair, because my hair is so thin. It has no body to it, and so I crimp it so I feel like I actually have some hair now. Dizziness. So this is related to my Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia syndrome, my reactive hypoglycemia, and my adrenal fatigue. If I haven't eaten for a while and my blood sugar drops, it's gonna cause me to be dizzy. If I stand up and I'm having a really bad POTS flare-up day and my heart is just pounding, that can cause me to be dizzy as well. Achy joints and muscles. So this can be caused from my POTS, my Hashimoto's, my leaky gut, my adrenal fatigue. It just all plays a huge role on how I am feeling. Technically, I am malnourished, and that's gonna cause aches.
And especially if I again eat those trigger foods, it's gonna cause a flare-up and I'm just gonna ache even worse.
And some days, it just doesn't matter how well I'm trying to take care of myself, I'm still gonna feel gross because I have all these different chronic illnesses. Sometimes it feels like I just can't win. Itchy, rashy skin. I have suffered for a long time with this, and again, it's related to all those trigger foods. It especially gets worse when I've eaten those.
Lotions and creams only help a little bit.
brain fog, and trouble concentrating. Oh, this makes it so hard to get a video put together sometimes. I hope this is all making sense, but this is in relation to my POTS and my reactive hypoglycemia, because if I am not getting enough blood to my brain, like literally, you guys, when I stand up, my blood pools into my toes, and then there's not enough blood up here to think very well, and if I haven't eaten in a while and my blood sugar is low or my blood pressure is low, oh, it's just gonna cause me to feel like I can't think clearly and I have memory lapses, and it just makes me feel like I'm really, really old. But when I thought I was pregnant, I would just call this pregnancy brain. Heavy breathing or loss of breath. I experienced this and associated with, I actually checked my oxygen levels in my blood and they are actually dropping a little bit, and the only thing I've connected this with is my chronic illness of POTS, and I just feel winded. I don't even have to be standing up. I can be sitting, talking, and I just get winded so easily. And then combine that with having a bloated, full filling belly, I'm thinking, oh, baby's pushing up and I'm just having a hard time breathing, and that's just normal for pregnancies. Insomnia. I'm curious if you're starting to see a pattern yet. This one is again associated with trigger foods. I get really, really bad insomnia when I know I've eaten a food that I shouldn't have eaten, and I just can't fall asleep. My mind is racing. I am like really hot under the sheets, and then I can't fall asleep. But again, as I've started to eat more clean, I am sleeping much more better now and getting much better quality of sleep. But again, with my chronic fatigue, it doesn't quite matter how much sleep I get. I'm still tired, but at least I'm having some good dreams and some good Z's. Fetal movements. I can remember feeling those baby kicks, and they felt so real. And then I remembered when I could see them, and I was so excited. And I remember chatting with the cryptic pregnancy women, and they would talk about how they'd have all these muscle spasms and they get hiccups all the time, and this was pregnancy related. And I was like, yeah, I'm experiencing these all the time. Confirming again in my head that yes, I am pregnant. This is associated with my reactive hypoglycemia and my leaky gut because I am deficient in so many things. This is causing muscle twitches, muscle spasms, hiccups. I remember I used to feel the same fetal movements, but it would be in my arm or my leg. But I would just brush those off because of course a baby's not in my arm or my leg. But if I ever felt it on my torso, on my back, I would say, yay, I can feel my baby and everything is all right, and yes, I'm pregnant. I'm not crazy. I really am pregnant. And this is what I kept thinking, and it kept confirming to me that yeah, I'm pregnant. Heart palpitations and chest pain. So these I can relate to my POTS symptoms and leaky gut, because I think especially the chest pain is almost a allergic reaction to a food that's, yeah, I really should be avoiding this food, because if I take an allergy pill, the chest pain dissipates and it's not as heavy, and I definitely have those heart palpitations, and they just feel like they almost get in my throat. They're so intense, and that's related to my POTS symptoms. Finding a fetal heart rate on my Doppler. So this is the big ticket item. The one that I finally went, oh my gosh, I have found my baby's heartbeat. I even shared this video of my Doppler with a midwife, and she was saying, yeah, this sounds like it could be a baby. Can I come meet with you and examine you, and we'll get some clear answers for you. I still need to do a video on that experience for you guys so that you can understand my thought process on when I finally accepted that I wasn't pregnant, but even a midwife said it sounded like baby. So this increased fetal heart rate that I was finding was actually my own heart. Having POTS my heart rate increases a lot. So I was actually picking up my own heart. My heart rate would basically double. So thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you're interested in learning more about this and what those next videos are going to talk about. We'll see you in my next video. Bye.